Understood.
And we
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Is anyone in this room intending to file impeachment against former Mayor Pred, current Mayor Pred?
I'm not sure it
one
would
of our
be.
responsibilities.
Yes,
I would
well,
wait to see what comes out of this. I presume you're asking that given the impeachment papers we're holding on to.
let's just hold off
Well,
on that sort of
I'm-
discussion in case something.
we'll
I don't
pause
want to
on
have
that.
to come back and discuss all that too, because everybody is tainted by whatever documents or
Well,
things are
I
inside
just
other
wanna-
hearings. So
I just want to say I only asked that because if no one in here is going to file the impeachment, and we're pausing it until something of that effect, if the people of Blaine County don't file it and no one else files it, then like, what's up?
well, the impeachment is a completely separate documentation and piece of legislation to the process legislation in which Blaine County has. While yes, there is an impeachment process, it doesn't define that that impeachment process is the only way in which you can be removed. And this other piece of legislation, while there is the question that it is in breach of other parts of the Constitution, still is there and fundamentally, I believe, has enough power to at least get to this point in which there is the question that he could be removed. So the fact that it's happened, and I believe within reason, legally, without reading everything and having a full understanding, that's why it is still processing. We just need to understand that, yes, there is an impeachment process. That doesn't define that that is the only way of removal, specifically based on other legislative pieces. If that makes sense.
Okay.
If we're okay with that, then I guess we will reconvene, perhaps, or, well, I can probably send out a few emails based on what happens, but yeah, it's going to be a difficult one to go over, I guess, considering we're all sort of involved in a way to this depth, but yeah, I'll try to organize, I believe, probably some sort of like neutral oversight of something like this and make sure it's done properly, okay?
All right, I mean, that's all I can ask for, but I just still feel like I'm just getting fucked over from beginning to end on my entirety of my term. I haven't been able to do nothing for 6 weeks.
Well,
It's
I think that
asinine to me.
sometimes
I
there
think the
are.
governor's coming back in a day or two.
Yeah,
so
I don't
All
plan
right.
to be gone for long. The reality is sometimes when law changes, it is at the top of the volcano as it explodes. Everybody sees the mess and things change, and it appears, at least now, we all have a base understanding of or an agreement of how the procedures will happen, and it should be streamlined. That there is never another situation in which a document takes that long to be processed. So yes, you might seem like you're getting fucked, and I could understand that. But at the same time, I myself want to do what I believe is the proper process and make sure I've read through the case laws that are relevant, the other legislations, and make sure it's done on a neutral term with the facts written out. So that's not to stop any other systems or legislative pieces trying to be pushed or any other things happening within your laws. This is just something that I will go over, and I believe right now it's okay that he is to stay suspended until we find that resolution. And like I said, it will be done hastily.
All right, I listen. I appreciate that. Thanks for taking the time to handle this whole ordeal.
Of course.
Would you like us to hold onto the writ of mandamus until after the decision?
I will well, it's up to you. You can do what you want.
Okay.
I don't want to understand. I don't want to see everything. I don't want to know everything, to be honest. So
I'm going to hold on to it in that case, so that we're not
just remember,
burdening this overall process that's happening right now.
just to reiterate on that as well. What exactly do we do in the impeachment process? Do we not want to fall under the same sort of thing that we could post some? I assume you post an impeachable document. If it has enough PC or something to sustain its fact base, then it would just be pushed through based on cost or what other whatever other procedures you have imbalance.
It still has to go to a hearing, regardless, right?
Well, I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we have to push it. Let me. According to the, where's? So we have to make a filing request, and it gets reviewed by the DOJ, and then it goes from there. We can't. So the impeachments that we've sent over have to go through the DOJ before we can impeach the DOJ.
Yes, I believe there is definitely some changes in which that should be affected, but not in a way that is. If there's a vote with 3 of you authorities or majority vote to pass, or it's signed by a majority, then I believe the impeachment should be passed through immediately.
I agree.
You gotta go, Hallow?
I think that would be creating a balance. Yes, good day, Bob. You have a nice day. Thank you for.
What you're
You
saying
too.
is,
Bye,
so can I
Arcadia is taking
hey,
my spot, so there's Lisa right next to her.
Yes.
hey,
Get over here.
so what I just heard you say is that, so let's say hypothetically I'm mayor, right?
Sure.
In this situation that I'm about to present to you, if me, Nino, and Naya Nashville decide that we want to impeach somebody, we can
Yes.
just do it on a vote.
Well, you would have to go through the same procedure, but what I'm saying is, I don't believe if there is enough information there that if it's against certain individuals, that they should be the people to reside over whether it can be passed, so to speak. So, obviously, again, the Constitution comes into play where everybody's rights could be violated in a way that a certain power could prevent the proper measures being taken, like the rest of the United States of America. And there's a reason we broke off from that place, guys, because we are better, okay? So,
What
I'm
I
not
did was
sure-
sanguine.
It might be worth just at least noting that for now and perhaps writing up some sort of like questions or at least trying to get it resolved to speed up whatever that could be, because the reality is, I believe, if people are accountable, and the people, just so you guys know, if somebody is impeached, that does not mean they will be removed by the state. It could be a fine. It could be returned to a people vote on the outcome and things like that. There is nothing to say that an impeachment, from our point of view, would have somebody removed entirely from their position. So I would encourage them to flow through more often and, you know, have some sort of system in which they would be free from... I guess creating greater powers that shouldn't necessarily be there.
So, just so I understand what you're saying here, if most of this room is getting impeachment papers, how do we push the impeachment when the
Whatever your
impeachment
legislation
authority
says, you have to go write it, do whatever makes sense. Like I said, I don't want to hear about it.
But
I
to Nino's
see.
point, okay.
Go ahead. Share your thought.
No, my fear with that is, you know, if it's supposed to go through DOJ though, and you're trying to impeach DOJ, what's the process then? Like, where's the next step?
Well, that is.
Am I wrong?
Depends on the neutral parties, and again, it could be something that gets to this point in which we have the mayor. Again, you are all of equal authority, the justices as well, the DOJ and the mayors and whatnot, just in different branches.
Well, then we roll back to the similar situation of the city council, no, which we got rid of.
We
in
talked
which
about
way
that
is
being still valid.
what is
with the equal power
similarities?
and the voting, and especially when it coming to the impeachment.
So
The Council of Four.
the question
Correct.
is, what becomes of a society in which the people are the voice of the democracy, but they have no power to vote over their powers? It's no longer a
entirely
democracy. That's what the council
I agree.
was.
I just wonder if there's additional level that maybe the mayor's cabinet and the DOJ can talk about for this exact kind of situation, though. because it would still need to go through the impeachment process. It wouldn't just be a vote of, a member of DOJ, the mayoral cabinet, and
Oh, of
Dr.
course.
Nashville. No,
It sounds
Right.
like it's a three-pronged process from my point of view. Like there's
I
an
think
initial
so.
vote,
Any
and then it gets filed in court for impeachment, and then it goes to a vote of the people of the city.
any
I think that's a
well,
great idea. It just needs to be written down.
Sure, but it could also be heavily abused. So
My fear
again,
exactly.
it comes to a logical output. So yes, we can do votes, but like I've said, even here today, when people vote, their vote is considered in a way that is logical to their profession or branch of government. If there is law-based systems, I will listen to people that are in the legislative branch as much as possible and have a sway on what they've said compared to somebody from Sandy Shores, so to speak. So even if there was a people vote, maybe their weighing of that vote would be a percentage based on, who knows, felons or other things, whereas the vote from you authorities could be at a larger scale, if that was to make sense. So
Yeah, absolutely.
once a vote goes through, it would also still go to the state for verifying and conclusion on the outcome. And if that outcome is processed and it is requested that somebody be removed, that might not be the case, depending on what the actual outcome is. So there would be a hearing above you, and it would be a neutral party of some sort, not necessarily us as the state, but a neutral group of individuals that would not have bias. The fact would be displayed, and then they would come to a conclusion based on those facts, essentially, with the weighing of the votes, of course. We haven't had to do that before, but that is what would happen, and I would much likely encourage things like this to happen. And like I said, do not expect always to have your role removed, except if you're the mayor, of course. If it gets to those points, fines, maybe suspensions, and other things of similar sort are definitely something that would happen often if people are found guilty, unless, of course, it is, severe. Then obviously we would put our foot down in those circumstances. So the thing I'm saying is we don't want people to, I guess, fear this sort of thing unless they themselves are the enemy of the people. We're not going to put somebody in jail for 30 months. Is that what they call it these days? 30 mind months.
I believe so. Yes, I believe
And
that's a
then
month.
after mass murdering half of the city, and then remove people for, minor discrepancies in legislation, unless, of course, there's more. But that's the point I'm making. Either way, I think that second step for the other legislative piece should be separate in terms of changing the impeachment process, just to make sure that is streamlined and at least discussed with other justices as well. Because I'm sure they will bring up points that are logical, and I'm sure your team, when they sit on it too, will have the same. So let's process this first piece, and after that is done, work with your teams, and we'll try to get the ball rolling on the impeachment part to make sure that can be streamlined in a similar fashion.
Love it.
Amazing.
Okay, well, hopefully...
May I ask you something completely unrelated? I'm
Of
so
course.
sorry. I currently don't have the possibility of making announcements because there is no SEMA
You mean the state
authority
announcements?
for I can't sign in as a council
Sure.
employee. I don't have my own
Yo, Ray, what up, dude?
sign in downstairs basically.
course,
so I don't
yes.
have
If it's at all possible, if you could email me some of that information so I could get like profiles and whatnot and have it sorted. You should have the same powers as others, and I will also try to move the legislation contest pieces to the actual MDT so we can have everything streamlined within the city on a much
That would
easier
be
scale.
amazing. Yes, a lot of people don't know
I
where to look.
appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you so much, sir.
No problems. unless there's other things, I believe we should probably call it there, as there might be, another meeting or two in the future, and I don't want to have to bring depression medication for everybody.
Oh, that's.
I just drink.
I'll be,
God,
I'll be drinking every night as
You
usual.
you might
oh
need
my
it yourself,
God.
Governor. Does anyone have food or
Meeting
Kill
water?
the
adjourned.
governor.
That's
Oh,
crazy,
God.
Nino. That's
Oh, no.
wild, please.
Isn't that the same place the
I just
last
let
person
There you go,
died?
sir.
Oh, thank you. I
Oh.
appreciate it.
Oh.
No, it's where I am.
Should
God
guide you along.
damn.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Oh my God. Okay, well, unless there's any other questions, then I guess we could get that ball rolling, and I'll try to respond to all parties about what we're doing with the suspension and whatnot, and try to make sure the state is involved as little as possible where we can. But obviously, like I said, I think there's a lot of people on both sides already heavily implicated and intertwined with things, so it's a little more difficult than a standard proceeding.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
We don't need to talk about Raddick, do we? And him being the sheriff.
Yeah, I made him
Uh,
sheriff
put a pin
before
in.
they fired me.
Well, that's
You
a
made
whole
him
other
interim
point of
sheriff, but-
contingency. Interim sheriff, and there is legislation in place for saying exactly how to go about appointing a sheriff.
Yeah, there's no existence of the UPD, and it defaults to my decision in the Constitution. So I don't know what you want me to do. They can file whatever authority conduct review and repeal the decision if they want, but I made a decision based off the Constitution, and because the legislation in
It
place
sounds
says the
like there
UPD
is
doesn't
another
exist.
dispute between two authorities, and if you would like to email me that, I can have a look at it, unless you want it to be something else. Otherwise, we can probably discuss it next time if we're going to come back.
Perfect.
So,
I'll
just,
send you the writ for that one.
Is this the? Well, I'm not sure. Just yes, email me whatever
It's a
that we
separate
believe
document.
is on that level of scope. Like I said, though, the first priority will be whatever this is with the mayor, just to ensure at least we get that understood and we can set a precedent that we all understand.
Easy.
Okay. Well, I do appreciate your time, and I'm sorry it took so long, but hopefully the resolve is something we can all at least agree on.
Well, this was good.
Okay. Well,
Again, tomorrow, 7 p.m. How's that sound?
That's right.
We'll see. Well, we'll see what happens this evening, but probably not. I think there's certain things going on.
Oh wait,
tomorrow.
no, tomorrow. No, fuck tomorrow. Listen, Pred, you're gonna have to wait till Saturday for those keys.
Maybe even a week. Now I think about it.
Maybe
the
Fine,
justice
I've been
is
waiting
right.
weeks already.
Yeah, see, you lost your keys. When
I'll be
PoE2
sure
was
to,
coming out.
don't
That's a
worry.
bu- That's a
I'll
side-
I'll talk to people tonight and make sure there's
Yeah.
something that we can discuss. Okay. All right. Well, again, I appreciate the time. I'm going to head out